Good afternoon. This is our third session, and you are becoming conscious of human values, rather universal human values. And in the last two sessions, I was trying to explain certain aspects relating to universal human values. First, what is the necessity of value education? And in that session, I discussed about the contemporary crisis of humanity, which is nothing but a sort of disequilibrium, exaggerated outer growth and the poor inner development. Then I discussed three characteristics of the ancient Indian concept of education, which is very much related to universal human values. Then I discussed three questions associated with value education. Then today in the morning session, I discussed about three powers that uplift life to higher and higher normative life. Then I discussed about the necessity of human value or the necessity of human culture. Then I discussed the values associated with the youth, Then, and it was followed by values associated with the aim in life we discussed. Then we deliberated on outer life and inner life, some introductory discussions. And I wanted to cover the aspects relating to transformation. So you are becoming conscious of universal human values through these sessions. Becoming conscious of human values means you have consented to cultivate those values. You have consented to cultivate those values. When you are consenting to cultivate those values, you are actually consenting to transform yourself. You are consenting to change yourself. Because if you are not consenting to transform yourself, if you are not consenting to change yourself, then there is no meaning of becoming conscious of human values. Only intellectually becoming conscious of human values has no meaning. It has to be put into practice. And putting into practice means you are ready to transform yourself. And our Rupkor Jyoti Prasad said, Rupantarehe Jagat Duniya Kore. But what is this transformation I am so much focusing? What is the exact process? By transformation, what we exactly want to achieve? Let me give an example on this, a process. What we want to achieve through the process of transformation. What exactly we want to mean by the process of transformation. Transformation is nothing but rebirth. You have to give up your today's life in order to have a greater life. You have to sacrifice your present life in order to ascend to a new greater life which is waiting for you. And in that process, you have to undergo a process of transformation. And by transformation, we mean, let me quote three sentences from the mother's writing again. Here, mother says, to be first versus to do the best possible. Which is advisable? Ambition to become first and will to do the best possible. Which is to be accepted? Ambition to become first. Becoming first has no concrete value, no absolute value, no universal value. Why? Suppose among 200 people, you stood first. But in an examination where 2000s have appeared, then you stood third. So, becoming first, second, third is nothing but relative concept. In a district level competition, you may become first, but in a state level competition, you may not get any position at all. So, this ambition has to be transformed. Ambition is not an human value. Ambition is destructive. Ambition has to be transformed into what? Ambition has to be transformed into will. So far you are guided by the ambition. Ambition has to be rejected. Ambition has to be abandoned. Today's life has to be abandoned in order to have a greater life. Will is greater power than ambition. When your ambition is not fulfilled, you will be anguished. You will be unsatisfied. But when your will is not materializing, you will try to be more willful. You will not be anguished. You will not be aggrieved. And will is a power. But ambition is only a strong desire. Ambition is not a power. Ambition is not an energy. Ambition is nothing but egoism. But will is a power. Will is a power. So, first thing, your ambition has to be transformed into will. This sort of, you are to undergo this process of transformation first. And then, ambition to become first is to be transformed into will to do the best possible, highest possible, best possible. Whether I become first or second or third, it is immaterial because these are relative. I may be first here and I may not get any position in another competition. So my aim should be to do the best possible. And for that, I need a power, and will is a power. So ambition has to be transformed. Ambition has to be transformed into will, and to become first is to be transformed into to do the best possible. Then there will be no competition. Then there will be no jealousy. Then there will be no dissatisfaction. Peace will remain with you. Joy will remain with you. Otherwise, mere ambition is destructive. Not the aim, but the ambition. This is the first example. Second example, mother says, now, first one was ambition versus will. To do the best possible versus becoming first. Now, success versus progress. And desire versus yearning. Desire is just অসমীয়াত ক'বলৈ গ'লে বাসনা, কামনা. But yearning, what is the Assamese equivalent of the English word yearning? There is a very good word in Assamese. In Assamese it is called dhauti. Desire means bahana. Which is greater one? Which is power? Desire is not power. Desire is always misleading. Desire has no power. It is only an urge, desire. But dhauti is a sort of will, sort of, it relates to your স্বভাৱ and স্বধৰ্ম. আপুনি মন কৰিব, আপোনাৰ এটা বাসনা আছিল, মই এযোৰ 10,000 টকাৰ কাপোৰ কিনিম. আপুনি কিনিব নোৱাৰিলে, আপোনাৰ লগৰ বান্ধৱীজনীয়ে কিনিলে. আপুনি মনত ডিছেটিছফাইড হ'ব, এংগুইজড হ'ব, আপুনি ডিপ্ৰেছড হ'ব। কিন্তু এজন ল'ৰাই চাইকেল চলোৱাটো তাৰ ধাউতি। সি চাইকেল চলাই বাৰে বাৰে পৰিছে, পৰি ভৰিত দুখ পাইছে, ষ্টিল হি ইজ নট এগ্ৰিড। So yearning is greater than desire. So desire has to be transformed into yearning, and then yearning will be a power. And again, like to become first, success has no absolute meaning. Here you are successful, but in an international level, you may not be successful. But what is progress? As I have discussed in my first session, progress is constant perfection. So our motto should be, whether you will agree to it or not, it's up to your wisdom. So our motto, in my opinion, should be to do more and more perfect. And success will be the result, will be consequence. But what is the meaning of success? Success has no meaning. Suppose one is appointed, one has qualified Assam Civil Service and appointed to the Assam Civil Service, appointed as an officer of the Assam Civil Service. He may think himself successful, but who is aiming for Indian Administrative Service? For him, getting appointed as Assam Civil Service officer is not a success. So success is a relative concept, but progress is an absolute concept. Progress means a constant perfection of your capacities, of your potentialities. You are already possessing. So desire for success has to be transformed into yearning for progress. So this is what by transformation we want to mean. Desire has to be transformed into yearning. Desire for success is to be changed, is to be transformed into yearning for progress. And the third set is third example. This is now eagerness versus aspiration. Eagerness versus aspiration. Eagerness for what? Eagerness for fame. And aspiration for perfection. Two things. Eagerness, অসমীয়াত কি কয়, ব্যাকুলতা, অধৈৰ্য হৈ যোৱা। For fame, মই এইবাৰ নেশ্যনেল এৱাৰ্ড পাবই লাগিব, পদ্মশ্ৰী পাবই লাগিব, পদ্মভূষণ পাব লাগিব, মোৰ লগৰজনে পালে। Otherwise, I will be dissatisfied. I will be aggrieved. I will be depressed. I will go to psychiatrist. So this eagerness has to be abandoned, because this eagerness has no power. Eagerness cannot make you do anything. Eagerness is only instigation. But aspiration, what is aspiration? Higher and purer will. Aspiration is another form of will, but it is greater than will. Aspirationৰ ভাল অসমীয়া শব্দ হ'ল অভিপ্সা বুলি কয়, অভিপ্সা। উইলৰ হ'ল সংকল্প। Even aspiration is greater than will. Aspiration is a power, yearning is a power, will is a power. This desire, this ambition, this eagerness, they are all some sort of allurement, some sort of instigation, usotoni. But তাৰ counterpart যেকেইটা মই কৈছোঁ, the will, then yearning, then aspiration. And eagerness for fame. Why I should be eager for fame? I should try to be perfect more and more. Perfection should be my motto, whether I get fame or not. So this is the process of transformation by and we believe, whether you will believe or not, it's up to your wisdom, but we believe This sort of transformation will surely make our world beautiful, will surely make our life more beautiful. But these are very, very arduous practice. খুব কঠোর সাধনা এইবোৰ, ইমান সহজ নহয়. But if you have the will, if you have the aspiration, if you have the sincerity, then progress is inevitable. So this is the sort of transformation what we are advocating. And in my opinion, the urge for transformation is the greatest human values, which alone can change our world, which alone can make my world beautiful, which alone can make my life beautiful, make my society beautiful. And then likewise, we may list many transformational process: hatred into harmony, jealousy into generosity, ignorance into knowledge, darkness into light, falsehood into truth, wickedness into goodness, war into peace, fear into fearlessness, uncertainty into certainty, doubt into faith, confusion into order, defeat into victory. By transformation, we mean these sort of processes. So now, in these two sessions, I propose to discuss certain, you may call them aptitude, you may call them certain qualities, you may call them greatest human values, because you are conscious about human values. You are consenting to change yourself, to transform yourselves, to make your life meaningful, to make your life a greater one, to make our world beautiful, to make our country beautiful, to make our state beautiful, to make our society beautiful, to make our family beautiful, to make my personal life beautiful. For that you need power, you need qualities to be cultivated. I have already discussed about certain powers. The greatest is the aspiration, will, etc., etc. Now, I want to discuss 12 qualities, but I think 12 qualities perhaps I shall not be able to cover. To perfect our world, we need thousands of qualities to be cultivated. Thousands of qualities. And all are important. But if in a single life we do not get time to cultivate all those 1,000 plus qualities, Mother has given us only 12 aptitudes. If you can cultivate those 12 qualities, you will become a great man. You can transform the world then. Only 12 qualities, selected 12 qualities. And out of these 12 qualities, I will try my level best to cover at least 6 qualities. Out of these 12 qualities, again, I will choose 6 qualities. If possible, I will try to cover those 6 qualities. First, let me just mention what are those 12 qualities a mother has spoken about. We need thousands of qualities, but in a lifetime, if it is not possible to cultivate hundreds of thousands of qualities, at least if we can cultivate these 12 master qualities, master human values, then rest will follow automatically. What are those 12 qualities? Mother says, first one is the sincerity. First one is sincerity. Second, humility. Third, gratitude, sense of gratitude. 4, perseverance. 5, aspiration. 6, receptivity. 7, progress. 8, courage. This is one set of aptitudes, qualities or values. Then the remaining 4 are number 9, goodness, number 10, generosity, number 11, equanimity, and number 12, peace. And out of these 12 qualities, I will try to discuss a little bit in respect of each qualities. I will pick up try to cover at least 6 qualities. At least 6 qualities. First one is sincerity. Second one is gratitude. Then third is progress. Fourth is courage. Fifth is generosity. Then, no, first one is sincerity, then gratitude, perseverance, progress, courage, and generosity. These 6 qualities I will be trying to cover. And it is also easy to remember if you can remember 2 very popular words. One is Supreme Court. From Supreme, S, sincerity. From Court, C, courage. Then the other phrase is paying guest. From P, 2 things. One is progress and the other one is perseverance. And from Z, paying guest from Z, one is gratitude and the other one is generosity. I will try to cover. Mother has written many things about these qualities. Huge, long chapter. But I will pick up only 2-3 things on these qualities. First, let me discuss. They are very easy. Mother's language are very easy. If you are attentive, then you will be able to grasp them yourself. Only reading will suffice. Mother says, therefore, sincerity is the basis of all true realization. This is the first sentence. Sincerity is the basis of all true realization. If you have sincerity, suppose your friend is more meritorious, intellectually more rich, but he or she is not sincere. You have lesser intellectual ability, but highest intensity of sincerity. With this power of intensity, you can be more successful than that of your friends. And then Mother says, it is the means. Sincerity is the means. Sincerity is the path. It is also the goal. Sincerity is all. Sincerity is means. Sincerity the path. And sincerity is the goal. And without it, what will happen? Mother says, without it, you are sure to make innumerable blunders. Innumerable blunders, not 1 or 2, without sincerity. And you have constantly to redress the harm. অর্থাৎ redress মানে আমি মোচন কৰিব লাগিব harm যিটো ক্ষতি এই যে if I am without sincerity, then I am to continuously redress the harm I have done to myself and to others. So if you don't have sincerity, you are sure to make innumerable blunders. Whether you will accept it or not, it's up to you. Then Mother says in another writings that there is besides a marvelous joy in being sincere. You will get joy if you are sincere. Marvelous joy. Not only joy, marvelous joy. Every act of sincerity, then Mother says, every act of sincerity carries in itself its own reward. Whether you like it or not, sincerity will give you some kind of reward. It is inevitable. Inevitable. And what are those rewards? Maybe the feeling of purification, the feeling of soaring upward, যেন মই একেবাৰে ঊৰ্ধ্বত বিচৰণ কৰিছোঁ. The feeling of liberation one gets when one has rejected even one tiny particle of falsehood. একেবাৰে সৰু মিথ্যা এটাও যদি মই যদি ত্যাগ কৰিব পাৰিছোঁ, আমি যদি নিজে সেইটো এক্সপেৰিমেণ্ট কৰি চাব পাৰোঁ এবাৰ, আমি নিজে গম পাম যে এইবিলাক সত্য কথা হয় নে নহয়. একেবাৰে চাইণ্টিফিক ট্ৰুথৰ দৰে ট্ৰুথ হয় নে নহয়, কিন্তু আপুনি নিজে লেবৰেটৰীত সোমাব লাগিব. You are to experience yourself. I cannot experience on behalf of you. Then Mother says sincerity is the safeguard. Sincerity is the protection. Sincerity is the guide. And finally, the transforming power. Sincerity is also a transforming power. Because why? Because there is only one true guide in this world. And what is he? Who is he? That is the inner guide. No external teacher is truest guide. Only your inner guide is your only true guide, who does not pass through the mental consciousness. So now, on the basis of these quotations, we can define sincerity as sincerity is acting honestly based on our own highest values. Based on our own highest values. Sincerity is absence of deceit and hypocrisy. In a nutshell, in a short, absence of deceit and hypocrisy. We can go on discussing about sincerity. We can go on discussing. I think as an introductory concept, I think this will suffice. Now let me discuss few things about gratitude. Why gratitude is so important. মোৰ মতেতো এই 12টা কোৱালিটিৰ ভিতৰত অকল এই কৃতজ্ঞতা বোধটোৱেই ইমান শক্তি আছে আপোনাক আনকি বুদ্ধদেৱতকৈ গ্ৰেটাৰ হিউমেন বিং কৰি তুলিব পাৰিব। কিন্তু মই যদি আপোনালোকক এতিয়া কিছুমান কথা মনত পেলাই দিওঁ জীৱনত আপুনি কোনোবা দিনা ভাবিছেনে ভাবা নাই। We are here all privileged citizen of this country. Why privileged? ঠিক আছে মই বেলেগ কথা নকওঁ। ইয়াত আমাৰ প্ৰত্যেকৰে দৃষ্টিশক্তি আছে। We can see this beautiful world. আমাৰ প্ৰত্যেকৰে এটা সুস্থ সবল শৰীৰ আছে। ঠিক আছে আমাৰ আৰ্থিক কেপাচিটি আমাৰ পঢ়া শুনাৰ ডিগ্ৰী সবৰে ভিন ভিন বেলেগ বেলেগ পাৰে। কিন্তু আপুনি কল্পনা কৰক পৃথিৱীত কিমান দিব্যাংগ আছে, কিমানৰ দৃষ্টিশক্তি নাই। That you are so much rich. আপুনি honestly you speak to yourself. জীৱনত এক ছেকেণ্ডৰ বাবেও আপুনি কৃতজ্ঞ হৈছেনে কাৰোবাৰ প্ৰতি? এই যে মোক যে পৃথিৱীখন চাবলৈ সুযোগ দিছে, আন লাখ লাখ দিব্যাংগক যে দিয়া নাই, তাৰ বাবে am I grateful to somebody? If I am not grateful, I am ungrateful. এজন কৃতজ্ঞ মানুহ জীৱনত সফল হোৱাৰ নৈতিক অধিকাৰ আছে নে নাই? মোক যে এটা সবল শৰীৰ দিছে, তাৰ বাবে মই জীৱনত কিমান দিনৰ কথা বাদ দিয়ক, কিমান ঘণ্টা বাদ দিয়ক, মিনিটো বাদ দিয়ক, কিমান ছেকেণ্ড মই উইথ চিনচিয়াৰিটি মই কাৰোবাৰ প্ৰতি গ্ৰেটিটিউড এক্সপ্ৰেছ কৰিছোঁ জীৱনত। আৰু যদি কৰা নাই, I am an ungrateful individual. And as an ungrateful individual, have I right to become successful? আৰু সেইবাবেই কৈছে, the sense of gratitude can make you greater person. We are so narrow. We are not only miser financially, even from conscious point of view, we are miser. আমি সংকীৰ্ণ, আমি আমাৰ নিজৰ অহংৰ কাৰাগাৰৰ মাজত আমি আবদ্ধ হৈ আছো। মই চাকৰি পোৱা নাই, ভাল চাকৰি পোৱা নাই, I am concerned. কিন্তু ভগৱানে এইখন পৃথিৱীত বহুতক দৃষ্টিশক্তি দিয়া নাই, খোজকাঢ়িবলৈ সুযোগ দিয়া নাই। কিমান মানুহ আজিৰ দিনটোত শয্যাশায়ী হৈ আছে, বেড ৰিডেন হৈ আছে। আপোনাক বেড ৰিডেন ভগৱানে কৰোৱা নাই। Am I grateful? If I am not grateful, I am ungrateful. I am কৃতজ্ঞ। তেনেহ'লে মই কিমান অধম ব্যক্তি। কিমান মই অধম ব্যক্তি। And it means I am living an unconscious life like animal. আৰু সেইবাবে মাদাৰে কৈছে there is no better cure for egoism than a happy gratefulness. If you want to be, যদি আপুনি নিজক মহাকাশৰ দৰে উদাৰ কৰিব বিচাৰিছে, সাগৰৰ দৰে বিশাল কৰিব বিচাৰিছে, this is the only AK-47, the sense of gratitude. Sense of gratitude. মই গ্ৰেটিটিউডৰ বিষয়ে আৰু আমি বহুত কথা ক'ব পাৰোঁ, আমি বহুত কথা কৈ যাব পাৰোঁ। মই দুই এটা কেৱল মই কওঁ। শ্ৰীমায়ে বহু কথা লিখি থৈ গৈছে, বহু কথা লিখি থৈ গৈছে। মানে মই অকল গ্ৰেটিটিউডৰ ওপৰত ক'ব লাগিলে মোক 3 ঘণ্টা 4 ঘণ্টা লাগিব। ইমান কথা আছে মানে গ্ৰেটিটিউডৰ লগত ৰিলেটেড কথা। তাৰ ভিতৰত মই 2-3টা কোট, লেট মি কোট, 2-3টা কথা মাত্ৰ মই ক'ব খুজিছোঁ। কৈছে গ্ৰেটিটিউড, হোৱাট ইজ গ্ৰেটিটিউড? এ লাভিং ৰিকগনিশ্যন অফ দি গ্ৰেছ ৰিচিভড ফ্ৰম দি ডিভাইন। ইউ আৰ টু ৰিকগনাইজ দি গ্ৰেছ, লাভিং গ্ৰেছ। কৈছে a loving recognition of the grace received from the divine. পৃথিৱীৰ যে অসুখ হৈ আছে তাৰ আটাইতকৈ গ্ৰেটেষ্ট কাৰণ হ'ল we are ungrateful. We are ungrateful as a humanity. As a whole we are ungrateful. আৰু সেইবাবে মাদাৰে কি কৈছে? কৈছে a loving recognition of the grace, a loving recognition. You are to love the divine for the grace you have received. That you can see this beautiful world. তাৰপিছত কৈছে another word, a humble recognition. Gratitude is nothing but a recognition, a humble recognition of all that the divine has done as and is doing for you. But something in us always tells us, don't recognize. Your existence will be lost. Don't subordinate yourself. You can serve your boss because boss will give you salary. আৰু সেইবাবে আমি সাধাৰণতে আমি এটা ডাঙৰ ঈশ্বৰচন্দ্ৰ বিদ্যাসাগৰৰ নাম আপোনালোকে শুনিছে। শ্ৰী অৰবিন্দক এবাৰ তেওঁৰ এজন শিষ্যই এটা প্ৰশ্ন সুধিছে, বোলে মই মোৰ কাজিনৰ বাবে, মোৰ খুৰাৰ বাবে মই ইমান কাম কৰিলোঁ, ইমান সহায় কৰিলোঁ, কিন্তু শেষত তেওঁক প্ৰবঞ্চনা কৰিছে, ঠগাইছে। তেতিয়া শ্ৰী অৰবিন্দই তেওঁক কৈছে, তেনেহ'লে তুমি মানুহৰ বেছিক নেচাৰটোৱেই নাজানা এতিয়ালৈ। এই ঘটনাটো কেৱল তোমাৰ লগত ঘটা নাই, পৃথিৱীৰ প্ৰতিজন মানুহৰ লগত ঘটিছে। তুমি অমুক কথাটো শুনা নাই নেকি? কোনটো কথা? ঈশ্বৰচন্দ্ৰ বিদ্যাসাগৰৰ কথা একাষাৰ কৈছে। কি কথা? ঈশ্বৰচন্দ্ৰ বিদ্যাসাগৰক হেনো এদিন আহি এজন মানুহে ক'লে যে মহাশয়, আপোনাৰ বিষয়ে মিষ্টাৰ এক্সে আপোনাৰ বিষয়ে বেয়াকৈ কৈছে। ঈশ্বৰচন্দ্ৰ বিদ্যাসাগৰে কি উত্তৰ দিছে? কৈছে, মইতো তেওঁক কোনো উপকাৰ কৰা নাই, তেওঁ মোৰ বিষয়ে বেয়াকৈ কিয় কৈছে? তেনে মই উপকাৰ কৰিলেহে মোৰ বিষয়ে বেয়াকৈ ক'ব লাগে? দিছ ইজ দি নৰ্মেল হিউমেন টেণ্ডেঞ্চি। কৈছে, মইতো তেওঁক জীৱনত উপকাৰেই কৰা নাই, এতিয়া তেওঁতো মোকতো বেয়াকৈ কোৱাৰ কোনো কাৰণ নাছিল। আৰু আমি এই মানৱতাক লৈ গৌৰৱ বোধ কৰোঁ। মানৱতা দিনটোত 24 ঘণ্টাত 25 ঘণ্টা মানৱতাক আমি পূজা কৰোঁ। দিছ ইম্পাৰফেক্ট হিউমেনিটি। But I do not worship this imperfect humanity. I always worship only divinity. I will never replace divinity by imperfect humanity. I want humanity to be divine. I do not want to serve humanity. I wish humanity to become perfect. I only serve divinity. I am grateful to only divine. Because divine has given me divine has given me my life. Science has not given me life. কোনে মোক দিছে মোৰ জীৱন? মই যে উশাহ ল'বৰ বাবে অক্সিজেন পাইছোঁ, সেই অক্সিজেন সায়েন্সে প্ৰডিউচ কৰিছে নেকি? কোনে প্ৰডিউচ কৰিছে? কোনে প্ৰডিউচ কৰিছে? And that is why I am not grateful to science. I am grateful to divine only. আৰু দুই তিনিটা এনেকুৱা বহুত আছে, বহুত গ্ৰেটফুলনেছ। মই ক'লোঁ পৃথিৱীৰ যে অসুখ হৈ আছে, এণ্ড দিছ গ্ৰেটফুলনেছ ইজ এ গ্ৰেট গেট, এখন মহা তোৰণ, যাৰ তলেৰে যদি আমি যাব পাৰোঁ, যাৰ তলেৰে গ'লে উই উইল এচিভ এ গ্ৰেটাৰ লাইফ। মহাজীৱনৰ মহাতোৰণদ্বাৰ বুলি ক'ব পাৰে এই কৃতজ্ঞতাবোৰ। আমি কৃতজ্ঞ নহয় because we are narrow, আমি সংকীৰ্ণ। We are imprisoned in the perilous prison cell. And that is why I have chosen 6 qualities out of 12 qualities. All those 12 qualities are very, 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 very important qualities, though we need thousands of qualities. And already if you are attentive, something in you has already started provoking you. Don't believe in all this nonsense. And that is nothing but the adverse force, acting with the help of your ego. And what is ego? I have already said, ego is a separative consciousness, which just separated you from all truth, all world, which just made you narrow and narrow and narrow. The whole sense of Indian spirituality is to kill ego, is to kill your desire. This is the sense of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita. By killing ego is my false I-hood. My real I-hood is my inner soul. My inner being is real myself. Ego is false individuality. False individuality. Ego is only a mechanism. It was devised by nature for a certain purpose. So Sri Aurobindo says, ego is a bar. Ego was a help. Ego is a bar. In a single sentence, he has used past tense as well as present tense. Up to a certain level of evolution, ego is necessary. Up to a certain level of evolution. And that is why he says, ego was a help. But after reaching a certain point, ego becomes a bar. Ego is a mechanism devised by nature for a temporary purpose. So then let me ponder over another thing. One disciple has asked one question to the mother. Question was, what is the best way of expressing one's gratitude towards man and towards the divine? How I can be grateful to man and how I can be grateful to divine? Then what mother says is very interesting. Mother says, first answer, why do you put man and the divine together? It's a counter question. Mother asks, why do you put man and the divine together? Then mother says, yes, it is true that man is essentially divine, because I am portion divine, portion eternal of Sri Krishna. Mama eva angsha sanatana. It is true that man is essentially divine, but at present, apart from a few very rare exceptions, man is quite unconscious of the divine he carries within him. I am totally unconscious of the divine which I myself is carrying within me. except very rare exceptions. We are not conscious that I am carrying divine. I am carrying none other than Sri Krishna within me. Sri Krishna is residing in your heart, and that is why he is called Antaryami, Hriday Bihari. But we are unconscious of. And that is why man and divine cannot be treated equally. So it is true that man is essentially divine, but at present, apart from a few very rare exceptions, man is quite unconscious of the divine he carries within him. And it is just this unconsciousness which constitutes the falsehood of the material world. That I am unconscious about the divine within me. And this, my unconsciousness, has constituted the worldly falsehood. If I would have been conscious of the divine within me, there would have been no falsehood in the world. Then mother says, I have already written to you that our gratitude should go to the divine, not to the man. Our gratitude should go to the divine, and that as for man, what is required is an attitude of goodwill. For man, you should express a sense of goodwill. But for the divine, you should express gratitude. Gratitude is not to be expressed for man. For man, it is sufficient if you can express goodwill. If you can express goodwill, attitude of goodwill, understanding, and mutual help. Not gratitude, but goodness, understanding, and mutual help. For whom? For man. But for divine, you have to express gratitude. So now, let me, tomorrow in my last session, I will be discussing about progress, perseverance, generosity, and the courage. Courage, generosity, progress, and perseverance. But now, before conclude, let me bring to your notice certain quotations from the mother. 10 quotations, they are easy. I will just place before your consciousness only. Whether you will be accepting or not, it's up to you. They are very easy to understand. There is nothing ambiguity. And from where I have collected this, it is a compilation from the writings of the Mother and Sri Aurobindo, and it is titled as A Student's Companion. A Student's Companion. It is specifically designed for students like you. So I have selected 10-12 quotations. Just let me read out only. And if you are conscious, if you are attentive, you will be amazed. You will be amazed. I think you will never find this type of writings in anybody else's writings. First one is, as I have discussed in my last session, that an aimless life is always a miserable life. This is the first quotation I want to quote before you. An aimless life is always a miserable life. It's always a miserable life. You may accept it, you may throw it away. Then another quotation, it is not from the mother's writing, but from Sri Aurobindo's writing. He says, there is nothing small in God's eyes. There is nothing small in God's eyes. Let there be nothing small in time. যেহেতু ভগৱানৰ দৃষ্টিত কোনো বস্তু সৰু নাই, তোমাৰ মাজতো কোনো সৰু বস্তু থাকিব নালাগে. It is a prescription. You may accept it, You may throw it away. That there is nothing small in God's eyes. Let there be nothing small in thine. He bestows as much lever of divine energy on the formation of a cell as on the building of an empire. কৈছে এখন সাম্ৰাজ্য সৃষ্টি কৰোঁতে ভগৱানে যিমান কষ্ট কৰে এটা শামুকৰ খোলা তৈয়াৰ কৰোঁতেও সমান পৰিমাণৰ কষ্ট কৰে। অৰ্থাৎ এইটোৰ পৰা কি বুজোৱা হৈছে, আপুনি কিমান ডাঙৰ কাম কৰিছে, that does not matter, but the attitude behind the work, how much you are sincere, how much you are honest. And that is why Sri Aurobindo says, he bestows, he means God. God bestows as much lever of divine energy on the formation of a cell. Cell mane khola, hamukor khola, as on the building of an empire. Effort is same, identical. Then he says, for thyself it is greater to be a good shoemaker. কৈছে এজন shoemaker হোৱাটো ভাল তাতকৈ কৈছে than the luxurious and incompetent king. এজন বিলাসী আৰু অদক্ষ ৰজা হোৱাতকৈ কৈছে এটা shoemaker হোৱাও বহুত ভাল। কিয়? তাৰ আগত লজিকটো কি দিছে যে ভগৱানৰ বাবে এটা খোলা তৈয়াৰ কৰাটো যিমান গুৰুত্বপূৰ্ণ কাম, শামুকৰ খোলা এটা তৈয়াৰ কৰাটো যিমান গুৰুত্বপূৰ্ণ কাম, এখন সাম্ৰাজ্য সৃষ্টি কৰাটো ভগৱানৰ বাবে একেই কথা। কৈছে এজন কৰাপ্টেড, এজন বিলাসী, এজন ইনকম্পিটেণ্ট কিং হোৱাতকৈ ইট ইজ বেটাৰ টু বি এ shoemaker, good shoemaker. কৈছে it is better to be a good shoemaker than a luxurious and incompetent king. Next, it's a very important thing. He says, never believe that you know. We are all egoistic. We have vanity of our intellectuality. We have vanity over our degrees, over our name and fame. But here, Mother prescribes, never believe that you know. Always try to know better. Always try to know better. Even after 3 PhD degree on mathematics, your attitude should be, I have still 99% of mathematics I am yet to learn, yet to know. I know nothing about mathematics yet. This should be the attitude. And that is why Mother says, never believe that you know. Always try to know better. Always try to know better. And when you will be ready to learn, Mother says, when you will feel that you know nothing, then you are ready to learn. Otherwise, you will not be ready to learn. If you have your preconceived idea, I know many things, I know everything, then you will never learn. So the basic condition, I have to feel that I know nothing. Then only I will be ready to learn. Otherwise, I will not be ready to learn. Then she says, it is no use reading books of guidance. Why? Everybody prescribes, make a habit of reading books. Here Mother says, it is no use reading books of guidance if one is not determined to live what they teach. This is nothing but theory putting into practice. Without practice, your information has no material power. Your information has no transformative power. It will have to be put into practice. So mere reading a good book is meaningless if you are not ready to put those teachings contained in that book into practice. Then she says, very important thing, it is also related to gratitude. And we frequently do this thing. Mother says, it is never good to waste things. Why? I have money, I have earned. If I could not eat something, I can throw it away. It is my money, which is being invested, which is spent. Why I think in that way? Because I am an ungrateful individual. Mother says it is never good to waste things. Too many people in the world do not have what they need. Too many people in the world do not have what they need. And that is why we should not waste anything. Then he says, build up a body. Actually, in Sanskrit, there is a sloka, Shariram Agdam Kholudharma Sadhanam. আমি আমাৰ নিজৰ শৰীৰটোক যদি আমি সুস্থ ৰাখিব নোৱাৰোঁ, তেনেহ'লে আমি কোনো ধৰ্মও কৰিব নোৱাৰোঁ। এইভাবে শ্ৰী মায়ে কৈছে, বিল্ড আপ এ বডি। কেনেকুৱা বডি? চলিড, বলিষ্ঠ। যিটো মই ৰাতিপুৱা যুৱকৰ গুণৰ কথা কৈছিলোঁ, আশিষ্ঠু, দৃঢ়িষ্ঠু, বলিষ্ঠ। কৈছে, বিল্ড আপ এ বডি, চলিড, হেল্ডি, এন্ডিউৰিং, skillful, agile and strong, ready for everything. In that way, you have to build your body. And then I am talking so much about transformation. You may think that transformation is a very hard thing. But Mother says here, there is no habit that cannot be changed. All habit can be changed. It's a possibility, certain possibility. There is no habit in this world which cannot be changed, which cannot be transformed. All habits can be changed, all habits can be transformed. But what you need will, perseverance, resolution, aspiration. Without aspiration, without will, without perseverance, you cannot change anything. Then it's another very good advice from Mother. This is actually a prayer. If you can pray in that way, it is ultimately it is your freedom. I can't impose on you. Mother says our students should pray like this. In what way? Oh Lord, let me be what you want me to be. Hey Bhagavan, tumi muk hei kori dia, tumi muk ji hua tu bisarisa. Moi ki hobo bisarisu, that is not important. Tumi muk ji hua tu bisarisa, tumi muk hei tu kori dia. Tar babe, ego has to be annihilated. So long ego is powerful within you, you cannot pray like in this way. Because ego will continuously tell you, don't believe in this nonsense. If you want to pray before God, you pray before God. You ask for grace so that I can become this and this. But here Mother says, oh Lord, let me be what you want me to be. Then she says, let beauty be your constant ideal. So beauty should be our constant ideal. But what type of beauty? Is it physical beauty or something else? Mother says, Let beauty be your constant ideal, not the ugliness. Beauty should be our constant ideal. But what type of beauty? Mother says the beauty of the soul, the beauty of sentiments, the beauty of thoughts, the beauty of the action, the beauty in the work, so that nothing comes out of your hands which is not an expression of pure and harmonious beauty. You have to be judge of yourself, whether your thought is beautiful or not. Nobody can judge, nobody can pass comment on behalf of you that your thought is beautiful or her thought is not beautiful. Nobody can pass comment. You have to be judge yourself. You have to inquire into whether your thought is beautiful or not, whether your soul is beautiful or not, whether your sentiments are beautiful or not. Why? So that nothing comes out of your hands which is not an expression of pure and harmonious beauty. So ultimately, what type of beauty we need? Pure and harmonious beauty. Harmony, heroism, and the illumination. And the divine help shall always be with you. If your thought is beautiful, if your sentiments are beautiful, if your actions are beautiful, divine help is always remain with you. Otherwise, not. Because God cannot work within the framework of an ugly thought. God cannot pour His blessings if your thought is ugly. Then let me last two quotes. So that the present is the most important moment in life. You should not be so occupied with your past that in my past life I could not get this chance or that. My parent could not give me these and these things. I was not fortunate. Past is past, past is gone. So mother's advice is the present is the most important moment in life. Present is the most important moment in the life. Many of our students' brains who got depressed because of their past association, because something bad has happened in the past. That is why he is depressed in the present. Is it logical? Because past is gone. Past will never come back. So the present is the most important moment of your life. And the last one is with this, let me conclude today's session. It is, Mother says again, in progress lies true joy. Not in success, but in progress lies true joy. If you are ultimately striving for joy, then progress should be your burning aspiration. Not the success, but the progress should be the burning aspiration of your life. With this, let me conclude here. If you want to interact, we can interact for a few minutes. Thank you and namaskar. Anything? Kiba jodi kudibo khoja? অলপ বস্তুবোৰ ইণ্টেলেকচুৱেলি বুজাটো সহজ, কিন্তু মই জানো, কাৰণ মই নিজে এজ এ প্ৰেক্টিশ্যনাৰ ভিতৰৰ পৰা কিবা এটা বস্তুৱে ৰেজিষ্টেঞ্চ দিয়ে। আমি যেতিয়া কথাবোৰ শুনি আছোঁ, আমাৰ সেইকাৰণে যে কৈছে ভিতৰত আমাৰ হাৰমনি নাই। At least some part of your being is agreeing to what I am saying, while some other part of your being is not agreeing. বিকজ মই যিমানবোৰ কথা কৈছোঁ প্ৰত্যেকটো কথা ইজ ডাইৰেক্টেড towards transforming you, not for any intellectual glorification. I am saying all these things, all these sayings, because these are mostly quotations from the Sri Aurobindo and the Mother. Every word is directed towards transforming your consciousness. It is a bombing against your present consciousness. It is a bombing because without transformation there is no other way. There is no other way. সেইভাবে আপোনালোকে জ্যোতিপ্ৰসাদে এষাৰি বাক্যত দুটা হে আৰু মাথো অকল হেটো লগালেই সাফিচিয়েণ্ট আছিল জোৰ দিবৰ বাবে তেওঁ কৈছে ৰূপান্তৰেহে মাথো জগত ধুনীয়া কৰে তাৰ মানে কি there is no other way. Mechanism is only transformation, not even পরিবর্তন. পরিবর্তন and রূপান্তর is something different. পরিবর্তন is আপুনি আজি 10,000 টকা দৰমহা পাই আছিল কালি আপুনি 12,000 টকা পাইছে. It is a change, but transformation is radical change of your consciousness, because ambition has to be transformed into will, desire has to be transformed into yearning, eagerness has to be transformed into aspiration. And everything is possible. ঠিক আছে মই এটা সাধু কথা এটা মানে সঁচা কথা মই অসমীয়াত কৈ দিছোঁ মই বেলেগত যিবিলাক মই ৱৰ্কশ্বপ এটেণ্ড কৰিবলৈ যাওঁ এজ এ লাৰ্ণাৰ তেনেকুৱা এটা জেগাত এবাৰ এজন টিচাৰে এই যে আমাৰ গীতা ইত্যাদিত কোৱা কথাবোৰ কিমান সত্য আপুনি নিজে মই বাৰে বাৰে কৈছোঁ যে নিজে যেতিয়া আমি এক্সপেৰিয়েঞ্চ কৰিম তেতিয়া বুজি পাম. অসমৰ কথা নহয়, এইটো আজিৰ পৰা 100-150 বছৰমান আগৰ কথা, সঁচা কথা. মই ঠিক কাহিনীটো যেনেধৰণে শুনিছিলোঁ সেইধৰণে ক'ব পৰা নাই, অলপ অলপ পাহৰিছোঁ. এজন গুৰু আছিল, তেওঁৰ বহুত শিষ্য. হঠাৎ এবাৰ এজন শিষ্য হষ্টাইল হৈ গ'ল, কিবা কথাত গুৰুক বেয়া পালে, আৰু গুৰুক বেয়া পাই ইমান গুৰুৰ বিৰোধী হৈ গ'ল যে য'তে ত'তে তেওঁ গুৰুৰ বিৰুদ্ধে সমালোচনা কৰি ফুৰে, নানান ধৰণৰ উচ্চাৰচনা কৰি ফুৰে. বাকী শিষ্যসকলে মনত দুখ পাইছে, পাই গুৰুক আহি অনুমতি বিচাৰিছে যে গুৰুদেৱ আমাক আপুনি অনুমতি দিয়ক, আমি অমুকক অলপ ঠাণ্ডা কৰোঁ, সি কিয় আপোনাৰ বিষয়ে বেয়া বেয়া কথাবোৰ কয়. গুৰুৱে কৈছে নালাগে, একো কৰিব নালাগে. তেতিয়া শিষ্যবিলাকে ভাবিলে আমাৰ গুৰু কিমান মহান, কিমান উদাৰ, তেওঁৰ বিষয়ে বেয়াকৈ কৈছে অথচ গুৰুৱে একো কৰিব দিয়া নাই. গুৰু যেতিয়া ক'ৰবাত ডাঙৰ ডাঙৰ সভাত প্ৰবচন দিবলৈ যায় একেবাৰে দূৰত থাকি পেলাই, যেনেকৈ আজিকালি পলিটিকেল লিডাৰ্ছক আন্দোলনকাৰীবিলাকে মুৰ্দাবাদ ধ্বনি দিয়ে, তাতকৈও বেয়া বেয়াকৈ তেওঁ সেই শিষ্যজনে সেই গুৰুক বেয়াকৈ কয়, তথাপি গুৰুৱে ইগন'ৰ কৰে. এবাৰ কি হৈছে, তেনেকুৱা এখন ডাঙৰ সভাত গুৰু ৱাজ এবাউট টু ডেলিভাৰ হিজ লেকচাৰ, আৰু সিদিনাখন কি কৰিছে, শিষ্যজন একেবাৰে মঞ্চৰ ওচৰলৈ আহিছে, মঞ্চৰ ওচৰলৈ আহি গুৰুক নিন্দা কৰিবলৈ ধৰিছে. সিদিনা কিন্তু গুৰুৱে এটা ঘোচা মাৰি দিছে, আৰু এই ঘোচাত পৰি গৈছে. তেতিয়া কিন্তু আকৌ সেই গুৰুজনৰ আগৰ যিসকল শিষ্য আছিল তেওঁলোকে আহি গুৰুক প্ৰতিবাদ কৰিছে, বোলে আপুনি যদি আজি ঘোচাটো মাৰিব পাৰে তেনেহ'লে আপুনি আমাক 5 বছৰ আগতে সেই অনুমতিটো নিদিলে কিয়? যদি যিটো কাম আজি আপুনি কৰিছে সেই কামটো আমি 5 বছৰ আগত কৰিবলৈ খোজোতে আমাক কিয় আপুনি অনুমতি নিদিলে? আৰু আমি আপোনাৰ কিমান আপোনাৰ উদাৰতাৰ বিষয়ে আমি বাহিৰত কথা ক'লোঁ, আমিতো লজ্জিত হ'লোঁ. যেতিয়া গুৰুৱে তেওঁৰ আগৰ শিষ্যখিনিক কৈছে, বোলে শুনা, এই 5 বছৰ মই এটা প্ৰচণ্ড সাধনা কৰিছোঁ, প্ৰচণ্ড সাধনা. এই যে মই ৰাতিপুৱা ট্ৰেন্সফৰ্মেশ্যন কৈছোঁ, হেট্ৰেড ইন টু লাভ, যে যেতিয়া মোৰ শিষ্যজনে মোক 5 বছৰ আগত বেয়াকৈ কৈছিল, I was angry with him. সেই ছাত্ৰজনৰ সেই শিষ্যজনৰ বিৰুদ্ধে মোৰ ক্ৰোধ আছিল, আৰু সেই সময়ত যদি মই একশ্যন ল'লোহেঁতেন, মাই একশ্যন কুড নট হেভ ট্ৰেন্সফৰ্মড হিম। কাৰণ মই কেৱল মোৰ ক্ৰোধটো চৰিতাৰ্থ কৰিলোহেঁতেন। কাৰণ সেই সময়ত আই ৱাজ ফুল অফ এংগ্ৰিনেছ, আই ৱাজ ছ' মাছ এংগ্ৰি উইথ হিম। সেই সময়ত যদি মই শিষ্যজনক যদি কিবা একশ্যন ল'লোহেঁতেন, কাউণ্টাৰ প্ৰডাক্টিভ হ'লহেঁতেন আৰু মোৰো কোনো লাভ নহ'লহেঁতেন। কাৰণ মই তেতিয়া আই ৱাজ এংগ্ৰি, মোৰ ক্ৰোধ আছিল, মোৰ হেট্ৰেড আছিল। এণ্ড ডিউৰিং দিছ 5 years I had transformed my hatred to him into love for him. আজি যে মই তাক ঘোচাটো মাৰিছোঁ, আউট অফ লাভ মাৰিছোঁ। Right now I am no longer angry with him. I don't have any hatred for him. I am full of compassion for him. আৰু হয়ো সিদিনা ঘোচাটো মাৰাৰ পিছত সেই শিষ্যজন আকৌ সিদিনাই গুৰুৰ চৰণত সাষ্টাংগ হৈ পৰিছে। আৰু ইয়াত গীতাৰ এটা ডাঙৰ তত্ত্ব এটা সোমাই আছে। গীতাত আপুনি যেতিয়া পঢ়িলে গম পাব, অৰ্জুনক বাৰে বাৰে শ্ৰীকৃষ্ণই কৈছে, তুমি শত্ৰুপক্ষক নিধন কৰা উইদাউট হেট্ৰেড, ঘৃণা নকৰাকে উইথ লাভ তুমি মাৰা, ডিভাইন ৱৰ্ক হিচাপে। আমি সাধাৰণ মানুহৰ বাবে হাউ ইট ইজ পচিবল যে কাৰোবাক মই নিধন কৰিম ফৰ লাভ, উইথ এ চেন্স অফ লাভ, বাট ইট ইজ এ পচিবিলিটি, ইট ইজ পচিবল। অন্ততঃ এই যিটো এক্সাম্পল, দিছ এক্সাম্পল হেজ টাচড মি টু এ গ্ৰেট এক্সটেণ্ট, যে য়েছ, গতিকে গীতাত যিবোৰ কথা কৈছে যদি আমি এক্সপেৰিয়েঞ্চ কৰি চাওঁ, তেওঁ ইমান দিন নিজক ট্ৰেন্সফৰ্ম কৰিছে গুৰুৱে। গুৰুৱে ট্ৰেন্সফৰ্ম কৰাৰ পিছত সেই শিষ্য এগেইন তেওঁৰ আকৌ চৰণত প্ৰণত হৈছে। থেংক ইউ দেন।